So as we're waiting for more people to come, the question was asked that we'll talk about a little bit regarding the rulings of fasting. The brother asked people who have diabetes and they have to draw some blood for their, what is it called, the little test that they do. Their insulin test. So does that break the fast or not? Of course it does not break the fast, it's perfectly fine. The only thing that we do have in fiqh is that if drawing blood weakens the body, then that might be makruh. But still, it doesn't cause a problem for the fast at all. Yes?
What about the wudu? The person has to do wudu or it's okay?
So the brother asked, what if we do draw blood? Does it break the wudu? And when you look in the invalidators or the breakers of wudu in Tawzi al-Masail, you never find one of those things that breaks the wudu to be blood leaving the body or blood being drawn. So no, it doesn't damage the wudu, it doesn't damage your ghusl, it doesn't damage your fast, nothing. There's no problem with that. And sometimes it's wajib to do that. Yes? If it's dangerous for the body, if you don't, then it's wajib. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu ala sayyidina wa nabiyyina Abil Qasim al-Mustafa Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Wa ala ahli baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Alhamdulillah, today the brothers are alive. Yesterday they were half alive. Today they're alive, alhamdulillah. Okay, so yesterday, those of you who were here, was just a motivational talk. Just to get us into the mood of Ramadan, of the month of Ramadan, for us to understand the value of it, talked about how Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, he is very worried when the end of Ramadan comes. So we talked a little bit about the dua that he would recite, that's in the Sahifa Sajjadiyah. We talked about that dua a little bit, the dua that he recited when the month of Ramadan would end. So the question was asked, why are you reciting or talking about the dua that you recite when the month ends? Right now is the beginning of the month. He said, sometimes you remember the end of something so you can appreciate it from the beginning. That was the reason why. Or else that's not the topic of our lectures. And we're still not going to get into the main topic, maybe for another couple of days, but there are some very important points, very, very important points regarding this holy month, inshallah. Okay, how I'm going to start this talk? Brothers and sisters, don't be the person who stands on the treadmill with a big cup of Coke in their hand, or Pepsi or whatever, and while they're on the treadmill, they're sipping this soda. This is how we're going to start the talk. What do I mean? What am I talking about? Yes, once again, it's close to iftar time. Yes, the imagination starts working again. Drinks, foods, all that kind of stuff. Now, you're lucky apparently you don't cook your food here, or else the smell would be very distracting. So don't be that person. What do I mean? We have hadiths that talk about how some people, all they take from the fast is hunger and thirst. Now this example that I gave, the treadmill, and this, we'll see how these two click by paying attention to this explanation, inshallah, that we're going to have today. It goes like this, brothers and sisters, that one of the best tools that Allah has, Allah only has so many tools. One of the best tools Allah has for us to be able to secure our purpose of creation is the fast of the month of Ramadan. Now it's going to be a little precise. I want you to follow. I know it's the end of the day and we must be tired coming from work and all, but you're going to have to pay attention to the sequence here we're going to have. Alright, so one of the best tools Allah has for us to secure our purpose of creation is the fasting of the month of Ramadan. Alright, this sentence is important. Okay, and I'll explain it. Yes, we have lots of other a'mal in the month of Ramadan, all of those things, but when we look into the Quran, we find that there's a priority, yes, that is secured with the fasting. Alright, so we want to see what the purpose of our creation is first, and then try to understand how fasting, or who says fasting secures the purpose of creation. Okay, so what is the purpose of creation? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. I didn't create man and jinn. Yeah? Some people say or believe that a Maulana is a Maulana only when he knows about jinn and about interpreting dreams. These are the qualifications. While this is not what we study in Qur'an. This is for certain elites who reach certain levels of closeness to Allah that they can interpret dreams. Yes, we have books out there about interpretation of dreams and so on and so forth. But when you go to these greats, they say these aren't very accurate. Anyway, I don't want to go on a tangent here, off on a tangent. Let's stay where we were talking, what we're talking about. I did not create jinn and man except that they have ubudiyya of me, liya'budun. I created them for one purpose. What does it mean to be an abd? I created them to be my abd. What does an abd do? What does abd mean? It means slave. Slave, or let's use the word servant, because slave has some bad connotations. You know, if you say God created us for slavery, it won't sound right. Yes? So Allah has created us to serve Him. Of course, there's a whole explanation here. That when you serve Allah, is He the one benefiting or are you the one benefiting? The answer to that, in a nutshell, is that it's because of man's benefit. Yes, Allah is the one who is being obeyed and worshipped and served, but it's for our own good. There's a whole explanation behind this, maybe some other time. Alright. So this is what this ubudiyya is all about. That's the purpose of our creation. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I didn't create them except for this. Yeah? Sometimes you say, this is what I want from you. Sometimes you say, I don't want anything from you except this. Yeah? If I tell you, I want, I don't know, a paper from you. It doesn't mean I don't want anything else from you. It doesn't rule out everything else. I want a paper, I might want a pen next to it. Yes? But when I say, I don't want anything except this, that means this is the only thing I want from you, right? Here Allah says, I did not create except for this. That means it's the purpose of creation. Okay. So the purpose of creation comes through being an abd of Allah. And this is where you find out, you understand the importance of being an abd, and how at the Bahjat on his gravestone, those of you who have gone, you see, it says, Al-Abd Muhammad Taqi Bahjat. That's all it says. The great spiritual mystic of his time. Ayatollah Bahjat, Ayatollah al-Uzma, al-Hajj, Sheikh. None of that, you don't find that anywhere. Even on his Risala Amaliyya, on his books, all it said was Al-Abd. He's like, oh, that's nothing. Well, that's everything actually. They know what it's all about. Alright. So this is the purpose of creation, to be an abd of Allah. And all the goods and benefits come back to us. Who says now that the fasting is one of those tools that secures the purpose of creation? Let's go to Quran. The Quran in the famous verse says, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُم. Fasting was made wajib on you the same way it was made wajib on those before you. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is the link between fasting and the purpose of creation. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. What is the purpose of me making it wajib on you, O man and O woman? It is because I want you to get closer to taqwa. Taqwa and ubudiyya, brothers and sisters, are the same. Let me explain taqwa. Taqwa literally means to be wary of something, to be careful of something. Taqwa Allah means to be careful of Allah. What does that mean? That means I'm careful not to do anything that will make Him upset. What will make him upset? If he says do something, I do it. If he says don't do something, I don't do it, I refrain. Very simple. Taqwa means the wajib and haram of Allah. A person reaches a point where he is observing the wajib and haram of Allah. Ubudiyyah, being a servant of Allah, is the same thing. When you're serving Allah, you're going by His commands. What does a slave do? Is it other than him going by his master's orders all the time? That's what a slave does, right? Let's just say servant again, not slave. So, ubudiyyah, taqwa, these different things, and we have another word that we will get to, they are all similar. Although they're different terms, but they denote the same concept. Here Allah says, I prescribed, I made wajib on you fasting. Why? So you can attain taqwa. Throughout the year, you're able to listen to me, observe my commands, not be lazy, not be procrastinating and putting things off. In Ramadan time, you're going the extra mile of not only taking care of the normal wajib and haram. Things that were not haram on you have become haram, like eating and drinking. Come on. This shows that you have the power, you have the willpower. Allah is as if He's showing us, listen, this is your capacity. I will make an environment for you where you will like it even. You like fasting. When we're kids, we love fasting. It's interesting. You're not baligh yet. No, but it's cool. I want to be like this. Sure, when I get older, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do it anymore. But when you're younger, like this is a miracle. And that's why I said yesterday, when you tell non-Muslims this, they just flip out. You fast, you don't drink, eat for like 16, 17, 18 hours. Alright. So this is the link between purpose of creation and fasting. The Quran is saying there is a direct link between these two. But now about the importance of this purpose of creation. If that's not enough for us to know that this is our purpose in life. To reach a point where wajib and haram is taken care of. Till the grave. Ayatul Bahjat would say, if someone has these two, he can be the happiest person in the world. Ayatul Bahjat, the one who when he walks, they say, he would see the insides of people. His head was down all the time. He's reached such a point. Some of the things they talk about him, about how the things he had when he was in his 20s, subhanAllah. He's telling us, if you have this, you're good to go. You can be the happiest person. But let's go back to the Quran again, a book that we hardly hear of, the Quran. Oh, what's that? The Quran even gives us clues about how important this servitude of Allah is. Have you all heard about the straight path? Yeah, of course, I'm on it. We're all on the straight path, inshallah. The straight path, Allah in the Quran says what the straight path is. This straight path, as-sirat al-mustaqim, that we say at least 10 times a day in our salat, because we have 5 prayers, each of these 2 prayers, each of these 5 prayers, the first 2 rakats, we're doing Surah Fatiha. So at least 10 times a day we're talking about Salat al-Mustaqim. Have you noticed that in the Quran it explains what the Salat al-Mustaqim is? What was the purpose of creation again? Ubudiyyah. Inshallah. Alright. Right here, and of course some people will say it's ibadah, there's an explanation here. When we go into the Quran, it says, وَأَنِ اعْبُدُونِي. We have the same word again. Be my abd, اعْبُدُونِي, هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. Very, very clearly, the Quran is saying that the Sirat al-Mustaqim is what? The exact same thing that was in the other verse, with the purpose of our creation. That's all it is. Okay, but if I get on the straight path, what do I get? Another verse of the Quran says, Inna Rabbi ala siratul mustaqim. Oh, so beautiful. They just come together, these puzzle pieces. We were created for a purpose. That purpose is the siratul mustaqim. And on the siratul mustaqim is who? Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rabbi, my Lord. It doesn't say Allah here, it is my Rabb. It's that, it's that intimate word that we have. Allah Rabb means the one that nurtures you, the one that raises you, the one that does tarbiyah of you, the Lord, not Allah here. It's interesting that Allah has used this word. So that's what it means, ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. That thing that we're asking for every day. It all lies in being an abd of Allah. End of story. So that's why Ayatollah Bahjat is so keen on and fixated on making sure that he's an abd. And other ulama are the same. Someone came to the late Ayatollah Ansari Hamadani, he's buried in Qom. This person burned. He was a mujtahid. He burned in the love of Allah. The book that they've written on his biography is called Sukhte. Sukhte in Farsi means the burned one. He burned. That's how much in love he was. There's a lot to say about him, but let me just cut it short. One of these Indian gurus came to him, and he says to him, I have tayyul ard. That means I can travel long distances in short periods of time. We've all heard stories about that, right? About how those who are very spiritual, they can, I don't want to call it teleport or transport. They can go to travel long distances in short periods of time. He says, he went to this Ansari Hamadani rahmatullah alayhi. He says, I have this. And he's all happy about it. Ansari Hamadani says, it doesn't matter, I have Tawheed. Tawheed meaning I have Allah. Not the Tawheed that I have. I believe that God is one. Yeah, very good. You got 100% on your exam. No, there's different levels and stages of Tawheed. Some people see Allah. Imam Ali sees Allah. I talked about this yesterday. Others have a little bit of that. They see Allah to an extent. This Tawheed is different than me. Allah is one. Here, Allah is on that straight path. So this person wants to reach this point. Alright. You want more, brothers and sisters? I'll give you more. We say, Salat al-ladina an'amta alayhim, the path of those who you've blessed. The Salat al-Mustaqim is which path? The path that you have, those of you have blessed. Another verse of the Quran talks about those who have been blessed. It says, وَمَن يُطَعِ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولَهُ وَالرَّسُولِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. Once again, it says, those who obey Allah and the Prophet, those are the ones who are with those who have been blessed. You see? You put them together. These verses, when you put them together, all you're getting out of it is what? Obedience of Allah. Being a servant of Allah. Listening to Allah. In other words, the wajib and haram of Allah. Oh, so that's why all these marajid, all the time they spend is to figure out what the wajib is, what the haram is, to tell the people so they know what they have to do. Because apparently, all of the purpose of creation lies in this. And then after saying all of this, Allah in the Quran says, كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُمْ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So you reach that purpose of creation. Oh. So if I reach a point where in the month of Ramadan, I'm fasting and I'm able to achieve taqwa next to it, oh my God, I'm boss. That is good. Why? Because you secured the purpose of creation through your fast. But what if I'm not able to do that? What if I'm fasting? Yes, I get hungry, I get thirsty, but the taqwa is not coming. Then I become the person that I was talking about in the beginning of the lecture. Who was that? Mr. Loser on the treadmill. The loser on the treadmill that is running on the treadmill or jogging on the treadmill while he's biting into a donut. It's close to iftar again. Biting into a donut and sipping on soda while he's doing it. Dude, what is wrong with you? I'm sweating. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm supposed to sweat when I'm on the treadmill. No, you go on the treadmill to get fit. Sweating will come along. But the ultimate purpose was for you to get fit. If you're doing this, then you're defeating the purpose. So this is what those hadiths mean. When the hadith says some people, all they get out of the fast is hunger and thirst. That will come along with the fast anyway, but Allah's after the fitness of the soul. That's what Allah's after. So if I'm just getting hunger and thirst, I am the guy on the treadmill that's just getting sweat. But at the same time is adding even more calories to the body. Is defeating the purpose and making it even worse sometimes. So this is the explanation of these hadiths. So what are we supposed to do in this month? in this month, we are supposed to fix up and clean up the sloppy taqwa diet that we have. Let me give you an example. When I say the word sloppy, some people, they want to get fit. They will cut down on some of the things they have. They will cut down on the sugars and sweets. I shouldn't be talking about this because I don't act upon this myself. But anyway, they'll cut down on those things. But at the same time, this person is having, I don't know, a lot of rice, a lot of bread. Bread is good, bread isn't bad. But when you go to those people who are into nutrition, they will tell you that, listen, true bread and rice are good compared to sugars and sweets. But at the end of the day, these are all carbohydrates. And carbohydrates, if the energy that they make in the body is not used, it will be stored as fat in the body. So your diet is still sloppy, although it seems to be clean. But the month of Ramadan is for us to fix up that sloppiness of our taqwa diet. Let me give some examples. For example, a person is struggling when it comes to their parents, when it comes to their spouse or their children at home. Yeah? It doesn't matter, even if you're the first one to be in the center. If you're the one who records, I don't know who records now, but I'm not talking to him. Just example here, because I've seen this example elsewhere. You're a person who, if it wasn't because of you, the center wouldn't function. But when you go home, the wife and the kids are afraid of you because you're abusive in your language, and na'udhu billah, you're abusive even physically. Am I allowed to say things that are abusive to my children? No, you're not allowed. It's haram. Am I allowed to say abusive things to my wife? No, you're not allowed. But I own her. Who says you own her? What are you talking about? You're not allowed to say abusive things. She's a mu'min. The husband is a mu'min. Doesn't matter if they're your wife or husband. And it's very haram to say abusive, let alone your parents. So if we're struggling with this, it doesn't matter if I run the center. Once again, this is just an example. I don't know who runs the center here. Okay? But if the whole center, everyone is benefiting because of me, but I'm not benefiting because of the fast, then I'm defeating the purpose. It's like saying, I am a trainer. I train people in the gym. Look at all these people that have won medals in bodybuilding contests. But when everyone looks at you, they want to throw up. What good is that for you? At the end of the day, are you going to have a heart attack sooner than them? Yes, because I don't go by what I preach. This month is for fixing these things. If my akhlaq is a problem, there's a problem with my akhlaq, I got to fix it. That's one example. Looking at haram things, try to fix that this month. Even if you can fix one thing in this month, inshallah, and continue it till the next Ramadan time. That's what Allah wants from us. According to the verses, I don't know. You're struggling with haram music. Not all music is haram, of course, but usually the good stuff is haram. Let me just break it to you right away. usually, the good stuff is haram. Oh, how do you know? Do you listen to it? No, I don't listen to it. But if it ever comes across, like if I'm passing by a place and I hear it, and it sounds good, you can tell it's haram. But anyway, not all music is haram. Inshallah, you will go to your marja, or maybe I'll talk about it in the beginning of my lecture. So inshallah, let me say this by the way. In the beginning of the lectures, we'll have like 2-3 minutes of ahkam, rulings, inshallah, every day. For those of you who come on time. Now no one's going to come on time. So music we'll discuss that a little bit maybe one day. Alright, anyway. Those who are struggling with this, those who might struggle with hijab. Some people have hijab but they wear too much makeup. This is haram. These things have to be learned and applied. This is the time to apply them. This is the time to practice them. Peer pressure, bullying others, all these things. Brothers and sisters, these things, they're haram. Haram doesn't just mean to look at something haram. There are so many things out there. People say, what's the secret to gaining high levels of spirituality? There is no secret. You have to work hard, that's all. We all know the answers. Playing pranks on a fellow Muslim. If it's going to bother them, it's haram. We have enough harams and things out there. There is no secret formula. I keep using this example of fitness again and again. There's so many things out there you're not supposed to eat. No, show me the diet pill. Show me that, liposuction. I want to do something special, liposuction. Get fit fast. That's not how it works. Even if it works in the material world, with material things, the spiritual world is not like that. The spiritual world takes patience and an effort, solid effort. Allama Tabatabai rahmatullah alayhi recited salawat for his soul. He says the biggest, greatest zuhd, I think if the word he used was, isn't to go for 40 days and do what these Hindu gurus sometimes do for 40 days, then that's it, it's over. No. Till the grave, to live religiously, that's it. He says this. A person who would see the Hurul Ain, the stories are there. He says this is the hardest. To live religiously, not to go in the mountains and isolate yourself, live amongst the people religiously. That is very hard. So do we have like a lot of extra time on our hands? No. We have to learn all the wajibs and the harams of Allah and apply them in our lives. It's not just najasa, tahara, salat and roza. No, it's more than that. The social rulings of Islam, the financial rulings of Islam, all these things. Anyway, don't say it's going to be hard. My willpower isn't strong enough. Willpower, brothers and sisters, is just like the muscle fibers. Even the scrawniest arms, when they pump a little bit of weight, after a while, this little muscle that is trained becomes stronger and stronger. Even that small fiber, when you train it, it'll grow. Willpower is the same. The first time is hard, but I guarantee you, the second time is a little easier. Third time a little easier. It gets stronger. To the extent that these greats, they say after 20 days, it becomes second nature. You didn't have to make that much of an effort. There still is an effort that has to be made, but it's a lot easier than before. This shaitan fools us into thinking there's no way out of it. How come there's people out there that lose 100 pounds of weight? They make a decision. End of story. So we have to think. Sit down and think a little bit. Where am I headed? Where did I come from? How much respect do I have for myself that I want to secure my akhirah? How come I am ready to go all out when it comes to my future 20 years, 30 years from now? But that future of mine, I'm not willing to. Let's sit down and think a little bit. One thing that really helps in this month is Quran. And not the Quran that we usually do, which is just to recite, but pondering and reflecting. And that's the actual topic of these 10-15 nights that we have, inshallah. We're going to be doing the tafsir of Surah Insan, inshallah. So that we see what the Quran is talking about a little bit. Let's get a little more acquainted. Let's get a little closer to this Quran. One of the reasons why Quran is so important this month, it seems, that Allah has made it has given so many rewards for it, is this Quran also helps us secure the purpose of creation. Think about it. You put the fast and you supplement it with recitation of Quran and reflection on Quran. What does the Quran talk about? It talks about the Yawm al-Qiyamah. What does the Quran talk about? It talks about Jannah, the blessings in Jannah, the hellfire. It talks about these things. A person who reflects on the meanings of the Quran, of the verses, is motivated. They say Imam al-Rida alayhi salatu was-salam, in the month of Ramadan, he would recite the Quran. When he would reach the verses that talk about the hellfire, he would say, "Oh Allah, please keep us away from this." When he would reach the verses about the heaven and the blessings and bliss, "Oh Allah, grant us this." He would reflect over the verses of the Quran. He would recite these verses of the Quran. Some hadith, if I remember correctly, they say he would recite the Quran, finish the Quran once every 3 days in the holy month. We don't even need to do that. But we need to reflect a little bit. Inshallah, we'll do that, inshallah, as we go on. So having said all of that, now we can understand why in the khutbah of the coming of the month of Ramadan that the Prophet he delivered a few days before Ramadan began in Sha'ban, the famous khutbah, where the Prophet in that khutbah, what does he say? He says, your breath, your breathing in this month is going to be ibadah. Your sleep is ibadah. All these things. In that famous khutbah, they say Imam Ali alayhi salam, he stood up. And he asked the Prophet, oh, I love this question. So the Prophet is telling everybody about this month and how awesome it is. Sorry that I used that word. Yes, it's awesome. And then Imam Ali says that, wow, this is the best of months. The times of this month are the best of times. The hours are the best of hours. The moments are the best of moments. So this is the best month. And the best of the people, the Prophet is speaking about it. And so Imam Ali, what does he say? He says, I'm smart. I want to be efficient. I want to hit the nail on the head. I want the bullseye. That's why I'm going to get up and I'm going to ask the Prophet, who is the best of the best. I'm going to ask the Prophet of Allah, the best of the best of months, about which amal and which deed is the best of deeds in this month. So how many bests do we have here? I want you to count with me. Imam Ali, the best of the best, 2, is asking the Prophet, the best of the best, 4, of the best of months, 5, with which amal, which deed is the best. We've got 6 bests in this sentence. What does the Prophet answer? After all the stuff that I just said, yes, that we talked about so far, that the fasting is for one purpose, and that is to secure the purpose of creation. What is the purpose of creation? Taqwa Allah and ubudiyyah of Allah, servitude and being a servant of Allah, so that a proper worship and ibadah comes out of it. This is the purpose of creation. Fasting helps that. So it only makes sense for the Prophet to say what in reply to Imam Ali alayhi salam when he asks this question. When Imam Ali asks the Prophet, what is the best thing we can do in this month? The Prophet answers with al-wara'u al-maharim. Remember I said there's another word next to taqwa, next to ubudiyyah and ibadah and all of these? That's al-wara', which means to refrain. It's like another version of taqwa. The Prophet says the best thing you can do in this month is to refrain from the harams of Allah. Oh my God, that's so simple. Easier said than done. And if you can secure it in this month, it's supposed to happen in a way that it guarantees you throughout the year. After the month of Ramadan is over, it doesn't end there. So the Prophet answers him with exactly what the Quran says. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The best thing you can do is to practice your obedience, to stay away from the harams, even when you don't do a wajib act that's haram. So these are all the same. The best of the best asks the best of the best regarding the best of months, which amal is the best. The Prophet answers taqwa, piety, being Allah's abd, wara, all of these being the same. So inshallah, what are we going to do this month? This month we're going to practice. But we can't practice without knowing first. You can't drive on the highway without knowing the law, and the cops pull you over. You say, I didn't know the law. And that's when the police officer is rolling on the ground, laughing at you, while he's writing you a ticket, of course. Because he says, when you have a driver's license, that means you're supposed to know your stuff. They say on the day of judgment, they say, why didn't, the angels will ask, why didn't you act? And that person will say, I didn't know. They say, why didn't you learn? Just like the police officer that's rolling on the ground, who knows? Maybe the angels will be laughing. Well, it only makes sense. If you want to act, you have to know what you have to act upon. So we have to learn our wajib and haram first. We have to learn, and then the harder part comes to act, inshallah, so we can secure it. Alright, so we're going to talk about one more thing, and then we're going to end, inshallah. That one more thing is this. They ask, and I've seen some people answer this question, I didn't like the answer. And this also is in line with what we've been talking about so far. They ask that in this same khutbah, and it's famous, that the Prophet says that in this month, the shayateen and the devils are in chains and shackled. Yes? They are in chains. Okay, so this month is a month for us to attain, through our hunger and thirst, taqwa. The same way the guy on the treadmill was supposed to secure his fitness through the sweat he's made, what's the word, whatever. I forgot the verb I'm supposed to use here. The sweat he's emitting. Yes. So, it's very easy to throw me off track. I forgot what I was saying. We're after not sinning in this month, but the hadith is saying that they're in shackles. The devil and the shayateen, they're all tied up. So why are we sinning then? It's a good question. This is a good question. And I was watching one of these famous speakers. He's not Shia, and I think if I say his name, all of you know him. I think he's Indian. And he gave a couple of answers. Someone was asking him, and those weren't good answers. I was thinking, if I'm a youth, which I am, of course, then I'll be turned off by this answer. This answer doesn't make sense. But anyway, brothers and sisters, when you come to the Shia school, look at the answer that is given. Of course, it's not peculiar to us, but the shayateen are shackled. Yes, they are tied down. Just the hunger and thirst itself takes away that inclination towards some sins. But who says our sinning is only the result of the shayateen? They are helpers. They are the ones that, might push us a little bit more. Not push us, but, they'll encourage us a little bit more. Yes, they're in shackles, but who is the main culprit? Who is the main enemy? Let's go to Nahj al-Balagha. If I'm not mistaken, this is in Nahj al-Balagha by Imam Ali alayhi salam. He says that أَعْدَى عَدُوِّكَ نَفْسُكَ الَّتِي بَيْنَ جَنْبَيْكَ. What does that mean? That means stop making excuses. Don't say, oh, the devil this, the devil that, shaitan this, shaitan that. The meaning of that, the translation of that is this, that the greatest enemy of yours is nafsuk. You yourself, your desires, that nafs of yours. That is your greatest enemy. Oh, Imam Ali, but it's the shayateen. No. They are also an enemy. Shaitan, yes, he's a adu. The Quran says, aduun fattakhidhu aduwa. Take him as your enemy, yes. But at the same time, it's that weakness that you have that is the greatest enemy. If enemies are surrounding a fortress, and they want to breach it, as long as the ones inside are strong enough and they don't compromise, the outer enemy won't be able to get in. It's only when you show weakness from within that the outer enemy makes its way in. You have this everywhere. Even in Ashura you have this. The Kufans, they wouldn't have messed up if they were strong enough. Ubaydullah bin Ziyad, la'natullah alayhim, how was he? He came into Kufa with like 10 people. And then all of a sudden thousands and thousands are on his side because he knew what he was supposed to do. What did he do? He used the weakness of the people. Sometimes we're discouraged by this. We say, the shayateen are shackled, but I'm still sinning. It shows that there's something wrong with this thing. No. It's just the fact that there's more to it than just that. Our enemy is this nafs. That's what the fast is for. When you stop eating and drinking for 15, 16, 18 hours, you are weakening what? Shaitan? No, you're weakening the nafs. You're telling it, listen, I'm not going to listen to you for a month. I'm going to let you know who's boss. So that after the month, also you can tell it who's boss. Not that after the month of Ramadan is over, not only do you eat and drink, then you say, yes, let's go back to the sins, man. That's not how it works. Allah did all of this for the taqwa. These are the teachings of our Ahlul Bayt. These are the teachings of the Quran. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the tawfiq to live up to these teachings. We learn our duties, we learn our wajib and haram, and then we act upon them, inshaAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We said so.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Brothers and sisters, I remind myself that today is 2nd of Ramadan and Iftar is at 8:47 p.m. and tomorrow the Imsak is going to be 3:52 a.m. and Fajr 4:08. Elections for 2 positions are